looking for a way out of this confusion.
My name is David Landry. I'm the co-owner, founder of Class Bookstore. And just on behalf of me and my wife, we want to thank everybody here. What we love about First Sundays is the development of the organic development of this. You know, we got a little bit of everybody, you know, black, white, Hispanic, everybody from all different walks of life. And that's what we love about this place, because the space is invigorated by the presence of people and the energy and the spirit of people. So I'm not going to pontificate any longer because I want to hear some dope poets that are in the spot. But thank you all. Please continue to do this because this is what we need. And so, yeah, and as long as we're here, we'll be here for y'all.
My kiddos, Daria and David, for blessing us and allowing us to come here. This show is mine. And because I like to pay honor to all able-bodied people, and y'all, that's my diabetic sense, and I don't know how to cut it off, so just ignore it. I'm still alive. So I'd like to pay honor to all of the able-bodies. We know how to clap, but there are some people, and I my vision ain't the best. I can hear, but some people can't hear that well. So here's what we do. This is how we clap. I was teaching some children in shape, and I started clapping. Ooh, I'ma tell. I said, what you gonna tell? I'ma tell Sister Mama Sonia on me. Well, I'm Sister Mama Sonia. I'ma tell Sister Mama Sonia on you because you clapped your hand. Dr. Obideke Kamau. A gentle spirit, a positive spirit, someone who didn't know any enemies. And even when life handed him some bitter pills, he turned those pills into positive Kool-Aid. He knew how to turn that negativity into positivity. When he would get up on stage and just spit, the words that came out of his mouth just resonated in our spirits. You see, we had a friend, and we were very, very concerned about her because of some stuff that she was going through, and no matter what, we would check in with each other about her. He always had something positive to say about her. You see, the brother was brilliant. There was not many things you could talk about that he couldn't hold you a decent conversation on. And if anyone, and we're going to play that, do you have that particular poem about his money? If y'all know him, you know the poem about his money, about the money. Yeah. I want my money. And whenever he would come and I would have him to perform with different things I have, he said, well, this time, I said, no, you're not going to tell me what you're going to do on this thing. You're going to do money. Okay, can I do something else? After you do money. So, as we remember his spirit, I want everyone to close your eyes just real quickly. And I want you to think of a funny memory that you have of Obideke, Dr. Kamau. And as you think about that memory, I want you to just laugh out loud. I know you got some funny stuff you remember about it. Let me hear you laugh. Y'all know that he could say some stuff too. He had a colorful time. So as we go through and as we remember, as we highlight, because you know, repeat after me. Dr. Obideke Kamau. Dr. Obideke Kamau. Dr. Obideke Kamau. Dr. Obideke. Dr. Obideke. You know the African proverb says, when the last person who says your name makes their transition, and that person has not said your name to anybody else, then you cease to exist. So I want each and every one of you, not only his name, always share the names of those who are so important to you. Because we don't want you to vanish from our memory. And this is just one last thing that whenever I would have to do something, he said, you got to do your little song. It goes like this. My country, tears of a wee sweet land of bigotry, of thee we sing. Land where my father's brothers, sisters died. Land of the pilgrims' false pride. From every mountain side, will freedom ever ring? Ashe, ashe. We love you, Dr. Obideke. Come
on. I'm gonna keep the energy going with about my brother. I was trying to figure out how do I say a friendship that has been over 30, 40, 50 years. I met him at Shape Center, and back in 2019, we took pictures celebrating Shape's 50th anniversary. I used to tell my mom, I said, Mom, if you could have given me an older brother, a big brother, Obideke Kamau is exactly what I would have wanted you to put together for me. I have a younger brother, but he's nothing like Obideke. He's a sweetheart in his own right, but Obideke was a gentle soul toward me. And I was looking through, I wrote a book called Surround Yourself with Love. And one of the poems that reflects Obideke's relationship with me and my relationship with him is called A Listening Ear. You have been my sounding board, my listening ear. You are truly my friend, the one I hold dear. Thanks for being there for me, a comforting friend, a listening ear. When my mom was going through her transition, and my youngest son and I was her caregiver, Obideke would come and give us a break so that we could go grab something to eat or just chill, because if anybody has been a caregiver, you know, that's not for the faint of heart. And while she was in an assisted living facility, he came over and he was so happy. She asked him to read the book of Psalms to her, and he read the book. He was so excited that she asked him to read it, and she was so excited that he read it to her. Because being a poet, you can read with expression and you read with feeling, and she had a chance to feel the words of the Psalms that David wrote, praising God. The other poem that reflects my brother is A Good Man. What makes a good man? Is it his smile, his laughter, or is it the way he listens? Is it the concern he shows for others? A good man is good because of the life he lives. His life is full of honesty and integrity. As he examines his thoughts and his actions, a good man recognizes that he is accountable first to God, second to himself, and third to others. A good man knows that his word is his bond. His yes is yes, and his no is no. A good man loves what is right and hates evil. A good man would rather hurt himself than to hurt someone he loves. A good man's life is full of joy when he is serving others. A good man finds fulfillment when he meditates on the things of God. A good man receives love when he gives love unconditionally. A good man knows that God loves him. A good man strives to give that love back to God. My brother recognized how powerful, how strong, how important he was to the creator of the entire universe. He recognized the love that all of us are created with. And he shared that by giving his whole self to us. You know, I told his baby, I said, you know, your daddy didn't tell us how bad he was hurting. But he was in a lot of pain. Being in this country, in this place, we hold on to more pain than we acknowledge. And at some point, we need to tell the truth to this country about how bad it has hurt us. We are holding on to the pain of our ancestors. We're holding on to the pain of our future generations to come. And we're holding on to the pain that's within us, that we have endured. Enough is enough is enough. We don't have to just give up being tired. I read this morning, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are powerful beyond measure. And most important, we can do all things. Not just some things, but we can do all things with the strength that the Christ in us gives us. So my brothers and my sisters, hold on to that. My brother showed us what to do. And he said he don't do the how. He just know what. We all know who we have inside of us to give it to us. Let's just do it. Let's fight with every fiber of our being to be the best representation of the Creator that is in us. Let us be all that we are designed to be so that we can stop being tired.
Yes.
Thank you. I think I do a segue into this poem here. As a matter of fact, probably the last time I did it was at TSU. It's called Do You Remember? Hopefully it connects well with what she just did. It's called Do You Remember? Do emotional memories transcend lifetimes? Terror at midnight as torches burn churches, homes, and flesh. Fear of water as bobbing screams silenced by sharks' razor teeth. Resignation at sunrise as every day, all day, slaves to King Cotton. Do they care that we have a heart? Do they care that we have a song? Solace in open clearings as anger and sadness massaged away by the preacher man, hoodoo conjurer, healing voice and hands. But this midnight, more than 200 years ago, they gather reading books, telling stories beneath the flame of burning lamps, though readings punishable by death. Or this midnight, they follow the North Star to freedom at risk of certain death or mutilation if caught. Or this sunrise, jubilation as they will be baptized in water, surrounding the lifeblood rivers that pulse through the veins that bind us all. Terror, fear, resignation, solace, focus, courage, jubilation, fears of belonging. Do these feelings pass through lifetimes? Lifelines to spirits seen and unseen, memories within memories. Do you remember?
So I wrote this poem when my friend passed away, and I hope that it speaks to you all. When you are a pro-Black activist, you can never really die. Give your life to building this family, and we will remove a bullet's permanence. We have survived every assassination after all. Kept Huey in our heartbeats, Malcolm in our mouths. Did we not walk Martin out of the Lorraine and back into our spirits? And now, Teve, I think of you. You may not have held the attention of a nation, but you are to me what they were to so many others, my leader, my friend. And I think of how I could be bitter over the death of yet another Black activist, or I could celebrate that we are still here keeping you alive, you embodiment of community, always surrounding us first, then us surrounding you back. You carved an enclave of sanctuary in an earth trying to kill us, you injection of peace, you pro-Black skydiver, dropping daily into the thick of war and staying there until it became war no longer, reclaiming each spot you touched. A new planet for Black people. Do not come for us, you warned. And when I think of the day that the earth warned back, said it was coming through your defenses, I must remind myself that you were not a sacrifice unto this knotted ball of yarn. This colonized jigsaw does not get to have you. No, there will be no swallowing back into soil. You will not be made rich and fertile for some new life to grow from. All matter is not constant. Something did leave that day, but it was not you. It was this earth they keep trying to make us live in that does not deserve the gift of you, that only remembers you between apathy and survivor's guilt, that says, oh, but you had so much more to live for, and means more to give us on a planet that does not give you anything except for reasons to want to leave. But Teve, how could you leave something you were not a part of? Why be bitter over what the takers could not take? The irony is, when I think of the most radical self-love I know, it is your selflessness. You giving back to us that day, asking if we needed a space to heal. And I think of you still speaking the next day, still laughing the day after that, still living unto us.
Come on.
Take your time.
Still living unto us. Aren't you telling us, stand up? There is a war to win.
It's always good thing to be in a sacred space of positive energy, positive affirmations, and positive words. I know for some it's a time of reflection. I knew brother, Dr. Baba Obideke Kamau. We shared poetry spaces together, airways panels. Always a good brother. Always on the front lines for what was right and what was righteous. Man, I'm trying to think what. I've been experimenting with stuff, so y'all
relax, brothers. Let's do it.
And I don't like giving disclaimers, but you know, this poetry, right?
Yeah.
Standing on the shoulders of giants. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I am Charles Mingus and Rashawn Roland Kirk playing the Haitian fight song on the Ed Sullivan Show while Toussaint Louverture leads Haiti towards liberation over the French. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Standing on the shoulders of giants. Scratch that. This is the poetic version of jazz. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I am John Coltrane playing giant steps on Soul Train. As Don Cornelius rolls out the scramble board for contestants to unscramble the word decolonization in 60 seconds or less, and they win a signed copy of The Wretched of the Earth. Guess I've been like this since birth. They saying one love Bob Marley, one love Houdini. From the root to the crown chakra, balancing the masculine with the feminine kundalini. I sit lotus position in the middle of a ghetto where death and destruction tends to echo, and I'm screaming, let go, let go, let go, let go, let's go. 100 miles and running, taking these NWAs to learning about a UNIA. Now I was sent to school rappers, the difference between the soft C and the hard K. Separate the C from the K, I mean, separate the C Coke brothers from the K Coke brothers. Politics as usual. It's unusual how I politic. It's ironic that a lawyer wrote the old say, can you see from a Francis Scott key. Kaepernick took a knee. I take a arm, leg, arm, head. Kaepernick took a knee. I take a arm, leg, arm, head, saying one day we'll all be free. Just a little quick. Can I do another little quick?
Go.
Joint. This appropriate. Gotta go back into the Rolodex. Yeah. I am 7 feet above being 6 feet deep. It's so easy to speak deep on shallow ground, so I preach to a choir that sings off key, but I reach for the sermon possessed in me. What do the people want? Is it possible to barter money for art? Capitalists at heart? What would Jesus do? We died the same way, rose the same day. They say it, so they say it. Seems like they say more than he say or she say. So we play chest on the breast of Mother Nature. I wish I could protect the queen, but I'm too filled with excuses. Excuse me if I vent. I'm trying to invent a new path. I study math and music and math. My holidays are so Billy-like, full of strange fruit and heroin dreams. I hear the screams when the wind cries Mary, and the spirit of Jimi Hendrix cries back how it's so scary to be young, gifted, and black. Capitalism is a vampire, sucking and fucking, it got a shucking and vibing to be the essence of all the ebony and XXL magazines. But a pretty face goes further than a beautiful mind. So we sell our souls for the God on the back of a dollar sign. No wonder we all wanted to be like Mike. Stokely Carmichael didn't have a signature tennis shoe. No wonder we all wanted to be like Mike. They didn't put people like Huey Newton on a box of Wheaties covers. I hear the screams in the light, the whispers in the dark, because when I step to the mic, it's like a Muhammad Ali fight. See, it's mental calculations. It's mind over matter. Mind over matter, so what matters? Is it the way the poet says it or the way the radio and the beats play it? Mind over matter, so what matters? Is it the way the poet says it or the beats? In the way the radio plays it, but when was the last time a poet went platinum and won Grammy Awards anyway? I say.
I'm looking around the room, I think what some MOK that maybe you guys, that the media don't really talk about too much. We live in dangerous times, yet the community remains hooked on lies disguised in the form of rhymes, like drug dealers chilling with their woman in the park, when in reality their screams go unheard in a vicious world, where they're being chased by demons in the dark. Blood of the martyrs shed, yet it inspires Malcolm, Martin, Medgar, and Mortar. So now we're getting ready to go straight to Martin and the elimination of apartheid in the so-called South. Well, it was as though Malcolm said everything south of Canadian borders, maybe everything south of the North Pole is south. So anyway, though, this was a process. I don't hear this in the media. Maybe y'all let me know where to go. Maybe y'all. So, but I'm gonna tell you what I learned about it. I learned from an intellectual named C.L.R. James when he broke down what they did in the apartheid South. The same thing they did in the Ghana liberation movement. Same thing they did in India with Gandhi. These so-called, I think that they frame Malcolm and Martin as being violence versus nonviolent. But the bottom line is they don't really talk about the effectiveness of the so-called, what they call the the nonviolent tools. Number one, the public demonstration model. Now we've always heard that here in Houston, like, oh, who are they marching for? Okay. One of the same thing, the theme that's been going through this whole night. Well, one of the reasons that you're marching is because you're trying to get direct information. You're trying to get past the media. You're trying to build your personal network from people all around the country that with like minds and stuff. So you form your network live and in the flesh at a public demonstration. That's one thing. Another thing you want to talk about the emphasis on public demonstration. Who's doing the public demonstration more than anybody else in the world right now? The CIA. The public demonstrations overthrow small to moderate, mid-sized governments. Because the bottom line, what does the West say? Oh, they're not democratic. Somebody got shot. Oh, they're not democratic. That regime needs to go. So in a regime that they don't agree with, you just start a public demonstration. You can easily go into the country and find some people to start a public demonstration. I'm not arguing one way or another whether that regime is just or not, but I'm just saying it is a tool with the argument is the effectiveness of the public demonstration tool. We can spend all night on that, but let's move on. The next one is the general boycott. According to C.L.R. James, that was a major tool that brought the British government to its knees in Ghana. The boycott is we heard about the bus boycott. Actually, there was a Baton Rouge bus boycott before the Montgomery bus boycott. But that kind of broke things up in Alabama there a little bit. But I remember I was in grad school over here, and this guy from Georgia walked up to me. He said, "Look, you guys over here in Texas, y'all weren't part of what we were part of when we were young. Let me tell you the stuff y'all hear in the media about the Montgomery bus boycott. Yeah, that was working, but there were boycotts going on all through the South. As a matter of fact, if a small township was considered discriminatory, bigotry said, what happened is we weren't playing football like you guys. We weren't playing shooting basketball, running around having a good time. They said our parents got us up at 6 o'clock in the morning, gave us knapsacks, and told us to march 10 miles the next time to get the goods, and then we marched 10 miles back. That was our childhood for some years. I'll never forget what a boycott means, okay? So that's a boycott, and it's very, very effective. Now, I want to say one thing, too. Today, we have our games in the media and the games people play in the neighborhood is one of the things I'm going is, well, hey, if everybody's having such a hard time, why is everybody spending all their money with the colonizer? Why are people using artifacts from the colonizer to validate you? Okay, we talk about self-love and self-pity. Why are you using artifacts from the colonizer to say that you're better than somebody else? So we move on to another one, which we know this is actually to be the truth because there are laws on the books against this one, the general strike. So we just go straight to the point. If these truck drivers went on strike, it would only take 3 days for it to be rioting in the streets. And if they're rioting in the streets, we want to fire a bullet. The police state will be beating and shooting and beating people to within the inch of their life. Just as the truck drivers went on strike. The fourth one, everybody talks about electoral politics, but electoral politics don't mean nothing without political education. So I think that's a big gap that because we got election time now. These folks are really, whatever. So, it's going to need to be some work on the process. So those are 4 tools that MLK used. They were master. He was his group of folks also who was in on it too, big on political education beyond maybe even Martin Luther King's group, but the young students. I heard Stokely Carmichael's name mentioned, the SNCC organization. Now, what am I concluding with all of this? This March on Washington that Martin Luther King got whacked before he could go to the March on Washington. And I remember being a kid, everybody said, well, why are they on those tents? Well, the tents, they could be spending money and starting businesses or something. I said, well, and maybe when you hear the Martin Luther King speeches from now on, you can kind of see where he was going, because he was saying one thing in one speech I remember in particular. He said, hey, we waited for it. They promised to do this. We waited on them for to do that. They didn't do it. So this is what we're going to have to do. What was he going to do to the federal government? What was he going to do to the corporate structure? The same thing he did in the South. And basically, it was supposed to be major resource allocation. That was a fearful thing. They say they got whacked because of the war in Vietnam. Well, okay. Whacked because, why? Because you spending all that money on the war in Vietnam and you can't uplift anybody here? Okay. So, hey, so that maybe just a little bit of Martin Luther King I never thought of, so I don't ever hear anybody saying these things. I think everybody's comfortable in the compromise that has happened in maybe the 30 years, 40 years, 50 years since, and we haven't. But I think conditions are going to take us back to that point.
Love can be challenging. And when we think about love, this is February. Now, not only do we celebrate love. Valentine's Day. We celebrate Valentine's Day love all the time. Because you see, I got a funny Valentine. Don't change your hair for me. Not if you care for me and stay. Funny Valentine, stay. Oh, stay with me, baby. My funny Valentine. What is this thing called black love? A precious gift from God above. It's hearing his name, her name, as it puts a smile on your face. It's finding comfort when you are in his or her space. It's laughing with each other. What ain't nothing to laugh about. It's that safe sanctuary when you don't really feel secure. It's supporting, inspiring, loving up and hugging on each other when you really just don't feel like it. What is this thing called black love? It is a challenging gift from God above. It's laughing with each other when nothing is really funny. It's crying with one another, holding one another, being there for one another. And it just gets so difficult. What is this thing called black love? It's an enduring gift from God above. It's holding hands, cuddling, loving up on each other. It's talking and sharing when you really can't stand one another. It's loving through the good times, the bad. It's liking through the complex times, be it happy and sad. What is this thing called black love? It is a fulfilling gift from God above. But it's keeping yourself whole, never forgetting who you are. It's lifting yourself up, making sure you are who you are, while still loving that person. It's taking care of and staying strong in your own skin. It's never giving up or denying or caring for or loving or nurturing oneself. What is this thing called black love? It's laying down tonight, knowing tomorrow you will get another chance to do the black love dance. What is this thing called black love? It is one of the greatest gifts from God above. Go ahead and just love up on yourself.
Repeat after me. I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
I am magnificent.
I am magnificent.
I'm God's child.
I'm God's child.
And she don't make no jump.
And she don't make no jump.
I love myself.
I love myself.
Repeat after me once I point to you, but don't do it until I point. I love myself. Come on.
I love
I will be the best I can be.
I will be the best I
To
can be.
preserve my own dignity. I will at all times
I will at all times
respect myself
respect myself
and demand respect from others.
and demand respect from others.
I am blacktastic.
I am black.
I am blacknificent.
I am black.
I am blacktabulous.
I am black.
Now, I need a little attitude now. And I am.
And I am
Without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely. Positively. Show enough. Too tough. Because I am all that and more.
all that and more.
Next one.
My fathers, rivers of my fathers, carry me home. Please carry me home. Carry me home. Carry me home. Carry me home.